that something is cool, even though they don't know that there's these types of users, there's a very high probability that that story will eventually become very popular amongst a large group of people. So it's really interesting in factoring that in and making sure that we splice some of that into the recommendations so that we get these really cool hidden gems that we wouldn't be able to find anywhere else. And we look at all different types of factors, impressions, you know, I don't want to give away some of our algorithm stuff, but basically just a lot of a bunch of different things that we can ensure that there's like a unique, diverse crowd of people that are into something before we spread it around or as we're spreading it around.
Sam Chowdhury, the London paper. We're having lots of fun experimenting with sort of tailoring the news to what users are interested in. And we're finding lots of fun with eclectic user patterns. Right. So you've got these users that have no sense. At one point they're looking at a page, sort of a semi-naked lady, then they're looking at serious things. How are you coping with those? Are you actually embracing them or are you ignoring them?
The semi-naked ladies, are we embracing them?
No, the users that have very eclectic tastes in what they like. So
absolutely.
Like
so we treat, it's not like we have this with this some like recommendation for you. We don't add everything together. So we treat everything independently. So if you're into, you know, I don't want to say porn, but if you're into I just did, I guess. If you're into one type of news and you're being clustered with those types of users, then you'll get recommendations from them, but we want to keep that separate from everything else. So you might be a fantastic recommender of you know, financial-based information in our finance section, but a horrible recommender for me when it comes to sports. So it's maintaining all of these different buckets of recommendations that is the real challenge, and especially the scaling challenge, and that kind of keeps our engineers up at night. Because, you know, right now we have that fixed taxonomy where we can do it by, you know, 30, 40 different topics, but when that opens up to the hundreds of thousands of different, you know, topics and users, or I'm sorry, topics and keywords that we're doing recommendations for, that's when it gets really nasty. But yeah, we do keep those separate so that we can give more tailored recommendations for each one.
Okay, so with the eclectic users, the areas that you see them stronger at, you're weighting that up, and areas that you see them weaker at, you just ignore.
As a recommender, yeah, absolutely.
That's how you're dealing with the eclectic users.
So if they're extremely strong in a given topic, then they will be a stronger recommender in that topic.
Thanks.
Morning, Kevin. Matt Collins from Localmouth. Some people are playing with ascribing quite specific location information to news items. Is that something you see becoming increasingly important? Is that something you might be using in your mix of recommendation factors in the future?
It's really hard to do local news just because the kind of current system of things that we have with television news and with like little local niche websites covers it very well. It's almost like there needs to be an overabundance of information in order for a collaborative filter to really make sense, or not enough sources for quality information when it comes to something like that. So we absolutely are looking at like how can we tailor the front page of Digg based on where you're coming in from and where you're logging in from, and kind of pooling you with that group of the world. So, you know, if you're over in the UK, it may be slightly different for you than if you're in the US. You know, you'll get a heck of a lot less US politics, that's for sure, you know. So it's looking at where these people are spending their time. We've started looking at that on actually our permalink level. We've looked at, is it interesting to see at the story level where people are finding this interesting, this particular story interesting. So we work with this company called Stamen Labs that does a lot of our data visualization stuff for our Digg Lab stuff. And I've talked to them about, hey, let's just see what the data looks like. Let's create a map. Let's create a little heat map, and let's, you know, slap it in with a Grease Monkey script and just find out what that looks like and see if it's interesting data to expose to the users. So it's just a matter of playing around with the stuff. It takes. I wish we had more engineers. By the way, developers, we're hiring. So.
Okay, I think we've got another question over here.
Hi, Kevin. It's John Cole from AdKnowledge UK. I'm interested in hearing about your revenue streams. How you're monetizing now, and how you think it's going to go in the future?
So we have a 3-year ad deal with Microsoft. It's similar to the one that kind of Facebook signed with them, where they handle all of our display advertising. And then we do some custom ad sponsorships inside of like our lab section and things like that. But we don't have any products that I can talk about right now when it comes to Diggable ads.
So is it just mostly display and then a bit of search and affiliate?
Say that one more time.
Mostly display?
Yeah, so everything that we're doing right now is all display based, but we've got some ideas for ways that we can allow the community to have a little bit more say in what kind of ads they want to see.
Are there any more questions? Anyone?
Is there any sort of tie-in to open portability standards like APML?
I can barely hear you.
Sorry, any tie-in to open portability standards like APML?
Talk to Joe about that. He's been talking about all of our open standard initiatives, and he'd definitely be happy to chat with you.
Anybody else?
We have time for one more.
My name is Sadiq Hussain. Have you thought about Digg.com in India? And because have you thought about localization to these countries? There are so many people who go through these websites.
Absolutely. It's going to be a big initiative of ours next year. We just finished our Series C round of funding, and a big reason we took the funding was that we wanted to expand internationally and into different languages. We see clones we see a bunch of different clones, but ones that are gaining traction in Germany and Japan, and there's a Spanish Digg that's fairly popular. So we want to really, by kind of Q4 next year, figure out how we can move servers overseas and get it faster over here, and then also get into different languages as well. So it's on the roadmap. Thanks everybody, appreciate it.